Welcome back to the Alaska, Santa Fe, and Pacific's Model Railroad. Okay, I'm getting ready to hook up the sensor tracks for my signal bridge. So I've decided that what I'm going to do is use the inner rail on both of these as the activation rail. So I'm going to go all the way to this switch and to this switch for the segments that are going to be activated. Once they leave those, it'll be something else. So I got to cut the rail joiners here and down there. So let me do that here in a second. I like to use the isolated rail to trigger this stuff. So that's why this rail doesn't have ground supplied. It's only the outer rails. So I'm going to cut the inner rails, and I should be able to do that pretty easily. Just by cutting the joiner, just like that. And I'm going to do this one here because it'll be easier. Okay, that isolates these two rails. So now I should be able to wire those to the sensor. So that'll be the next thing I do. Okay, I have to drill a couple of small holes so I can solder a wire on just anywhere to this track section that needs to do it. So I think I'll do it right here at the joint, and that'll help secure the rail a little better. I like to use small bits so I don't overdo it. And I can do this one right here as well. Now I can run a wire from those points, solder them on, and hook it up to the terminal strip I already put in. Okay, first thing I want to do is take my meter and make sure I have that rail isolated from the other rail. So I like to go over here to my short tester. I can hear it beep. So I hold this to here. Okay, I'm getting power through those two rails still. So I got to figure out where I'm getting fed. So let's see here. This is cut. So let's see, do I have a wire soldered on here that I don't remember? Shouldn't have. Double checking all my joints going around here. I think it's getting fed through the switch somehow. So let me figure out where. I don't have any wires soldered in there. Don't know for sure. Probably going through the switch. More than likely Ross has a jumper. So let me isolate that jumper and we'll take care of that. Okay, I got the connection that was shorted. As you can see, the two rails are isolated. They beep when you short across the one that's shorted. So both of these are ready to be soldered. So we will take and solder this wire I've got sticking up to the inside rail here. So I usually just take my soldering iron and hold it against the rail. Get a nice bead of solder in there. And then I take the wire and get it tinned on the end with a nice big bead of solder as well. Once I get those connected like that, I'll take and bend this over, get it down below the rail, and see, where did I do that at now? Right here. And hold the soldering iron on it for long enough to melt it in. Don't care how pretty it is, it's going to get painted and covered up. Okay, so that takes care of that wire. Let me pull it to the length where I need to hook it up here. I already ran it under the table. I'm not going to hook it up, I'm just going to cut it off. And then I'll run the next wire. So let's see, probably about that's long enough. More than enough. Okay, and then I'll run the next wire. I'm just using some leftover old speaker wire. Nothing fancy. Just something, could use anything. But I had a whole bunch of this left over, so I thought, yeah, why not use it up? So I'll get that stretched out here. Got kind of tangled up on me. Okay, so there's that wire. From that signal. And then we'll get this other one pulled and hook it up. And it's going right up through this track right here. So, same thing. I got little mini squirt wire strippers. Darn things are discontinued. You can't find them anymore, which had about a dozen pair of them when they were 20 bucks a piece. Now they're 40 or 50 if you can find them, and the only way you can get them is like they did. They confiscated one of mine at the airport. So the airport people put them on eBay and sell them for 20, 30, 40, 50 bucks or whatever they can snag out of you. Kind of drives me nuts that they do that. What are you going to do? Stab somebody to death with a mini knife? All right. That should take care of those two wires to feed this. Same thing, I'll go down here and then I'll hook it up. So give me a second. So, it's gonna be one of these heads here. So let's hope I got the right ones. We'll see. All right, there's one wire. And I don't know for sure if it's the yellow or the white wire, so I'm just going to have to hook it up and see which one it is. Yeah, to get the right screwdriver. Okay, I got the wires connected. So let's see what happens. This is the train. It's going to go past this block. Once it enters the block, it turns it red. and it'll stay red as long as the train's on that track. Now I bring it off the block, and it turns yellow, meaning the train's vacated. So from this loop to that other side will all be train active. Once the train has completely left that block, it'll go green again. So now let's try the other track. See if I can do this without shorting it out. Nope, I shorted it out. Damn it. Okay, not a problem. It'll come back with power here in a minute. There we go. Automatic power reset through the TIU. Okay, now we're on the other track going through. And so it's showing the block ahead, so I got to do the same on this other side. But at least you get the idea. Once the train leaves the block going around that way, it'll turn yellow again. Then back to red. So this side's working. I'll do the other part and show you the whole thing when I'm done.